Hi and welcome to the Innovator channel with a walk around and the component parts of the Heretic Pulley Slingshot. A slingshot that you may think you've seen some similar ones, but I've certainly never found one on YouTube that looks and performs like this. Well, maybe it performs. So what have we got? Well, as you can see, we have a pulley system. It's not trying to be a compound bow as such. It's more, as much as anything, for a smooth draw, a long draw. It gives you good power, good penetration, but a consistent, flat, open pouch. Now this is the Heretic, and this is little baby brother, which is the one I've made a short of. Same sort of thing. As you can see, this one, the pouch is also held absolutely open for a consistent release of the bearing with no wibbling off to the left or the right like your standard slingshot can as it goes through the forks. This, with these two pieces here, spreads the pouch every time perfectly flat. The Heretic is very similar. It has two fixed points. As the band travels through, drawn like normal, it comes and the pouch is spread and releases the bearing, the BB, whatever you want to call it. So what have we got? We have because this is kind of, I wanted it to kind of have a weight like a bow. This is exactly 1 meter long. A 1 meter long 30mm dowel. You could obviously make it out of anything you choose if you decided to make one. We have some 50mm pulleys with bearings set into them, made of nylon. And the important thing is, for consistency, they have a deep groove. Okay, pop that back. And at the end, we have a long post either end. This allows us to do a couple of things. If you want to, when you're setting it up, you can adjust the height totally. There's nothing stopping it. There's just a little piece of rubber that is a visual guide, because it's a rubber band. As soon as it's under tension, it's never going to go anywhere. But, which is quite a nice little trick, which I'll show you at the end, it allows you, because the pouch is always under tension, unlike some people do it with the slingshots, they take the bands off. Now in a slingshot, it doesn't really matter. That's just for, I don't even know why people take it off. When it's a slingshot, it's never under any tension, but people do. Anyway, this allows you to take this off like a bow. You can release the tension, which preserves the pouch. And every time you can just make sure when you set it up that the pouch actually sits perfectly straight every time, which is part of the design. I designed it like this. Like a bow, you hold it and you shoot down the side of the thumb. Now, as long as you keep this pulley, now I know you can't see it, as long as the bottom of the pulley is 40 millimeters, 4 centimeters from the edge of the dowel, you will not hit your fingers. You will not hit your hand, unless you just want very silly, like turn it at a weird angle. If you shorten that, you will hit your knuckle and it will really fucking hurt. And it will give you a big bruise, and it's going very fast. Because I thought, as I built it, I thought I'll streamline it, tuck it farther in. Don't do that. It really hurts. So there's that. And although it looks a little engineered, I purposely left these because this is a piece of threaded bar. Now I've purposely left it if I want to change anything, This is threaded bar, and I've made it kind of tidy on the back end. The idea is if I decide I want to put a scope on here, which I may order sometime, a physical pistol scope, it's a mounting point. And if I want to do anything else or think of anything, I've left all of these, and to a certain extent, a little bit of sort of counterweight. They're not really, but you know what I mean. So this is threaded bar. Now I've purposely left it because it allows me full adjustment. Now these ends, they're different. This is all nicely covered up because it's a friction point. It's not adjustable with a screw or a thread. This has even got, see here, if I want to take it apart, we've even got these large, where is it? Ah, there we go. Wing nuts. So if I do want to change anything or have a different idea, take these big wing nuts off, do that in seconds. Unwind it, take it off, fiddle with it, put it back. But the back nut stays in place. Depends what I want to do. Something you shooters might be interested in. People who maybe even shoot bows, want to make your own bow, or maybe want to build this. Slingshot bow sights are not very expensive, but for something that's almost free, the sight on this is very good. It's very much like a real bow sight. Now you might wonder why this bottom piece, this is your sight point, is off to one side. But for one thing, you can see there's a rod coming down. And also when you kind of draw it, to a certain extent, especially on the little one, the string, if you see here, the band can float. If it floats into here, shall we say, it could float into there, your sighting point, if the optic was in the middle. So it's purposely set off to one side. Also, it means if you needed to adjust near to the pulley, the mounting point is set to this side. It allows you, if you needed it, to get the sight point very close to the pulley without running out of space. But it's very easy to make. So as you can see, we've got a, what should we say, a post that comes out, I'll show you this side, from the fixing point. On this case, it's the threaded bar. There is a post that comes out, which is this. Now this post is all done with the same tube, rubber tube, soft rubber tube. It's an aluminium post with a cable tie that holds the post in position. There's a piece of rubber tube which I've hole punched through, piece of alley bar, and then the same piece of rubber tube goes down and makes a really nice, whoops, was it gone? Sight point. Doesn't that work well? Doesn't that work well? That's cool. For pennies. But it acts like a real bow sight, as good as any other bow sight. It doesn't have a an upright post that you put on the target, but I purposely made it so that at the distance I prefer to shoot at, the hole goes on to the target, be it a paper target or cans or anything else. So that's why that's like that, and it works really well. It's fully adjustable, up, down, left or right, and the thread, which is up here, acts as a really nice increment line. If you need to go, to the left or right, you can skip across one thread, and it's a really handy point. It's not just a bar that it just kind of floats up and down somewhere. You can actually do it a notch at a time. It's quite good. So pulleys, fully adjustable, really cute little scope, dead easy to make. The most important thing with these builds is the grip. This one especially, this one has no pulleys, but it has a custom made hand grip out of thermoplastic, polymorph, instamorph, whatever you know it as. This is the most important thing, because especially with this one, you shoot down the thumb. Now this one, if you imagine this was just, either of them, if it was just a round dowel, as you pull on something that is away from the center line, it will try and twist and you know, you might shoot 100 times, but the more you shoot, the more you'll get a little bit tired. It'll twist, and of course it changes your accuracy and your aim point. The point about this, in fact, any kind of thing that you shoot, really, if you can have a custom hand grip, it will always shoot better, because you always pick it up. It could be a gun, an ordinary bow, this kind of thing, or a slingshot. If you can get it with a custom grip, if you can get it with an absolute custom grip, it will always shoot better, because every time you pick it up and you slide your hand in, it is absolutely this. However it shoots will always be more consistent, because it's a custom fit, and you will know if you're not holding it right, because actually it will be uncomfortable, which is quite cool. It tells you a lot. So this has a custom hand grip as well. It doesn't need it quite so much, but it does play a part, because 40mm from the edge of here, you would think is quite a strain on your arm. It's not really, but you would think it is. But when you draw it back, actually this action helps you to kind of steady the twist, which is sort of an unexpected benefit, but it's there for consistency. You can see it looks pretty good when it's drawn back. I always go to the corner of the mouth. I mean, you could do something crazy and go full butterfly if you wanted to. The longer the draw, you mean you could. I dread to think what the power could be. This is the bow, and I'm waffling on. Obviously, you can just skip through to bits that you might be interested in. Another little thing, maybe you just pick and choose from what you find interesting. You see how this is mounted? It's not bound at all. It's not done in I haven't got it around. It's not bound with thread or rubber. That is just one piece of tube that where's it gone? That I have these special modified long nose pliers, and this bit of tube here is probably half an inch long, call it 13mm. So it's 13mm, and it goes over here now, and also here as well. You see I've done it here. There is no binding, wrapping or anything like that. That is literally tube on there. So the tube is here and it's spread. Your your shooting tube goes through the pouch, comes back through, and then you roll it off, and that will never slip. You see how big this bow is. See how big that is. I've literally just put these are new bands. Previous bands I shot easy 500 times. Easy to get to 500, probably 1,000 times. And it just frayed a little bit, and I thought, for safety, I'll change it. Put a little bit of extra. It's nice, it's tidy, and you can pull on this all day. Won't move. And it's so quick. And I've seen people do loads of bands and tubes. For the sake of that it was worth watching this little video if you got to that bit. Does a good job. It's a piece of cake, but you'll need some modified. They're thinned down at the end to make them sort of straighter, because you need to be able to push the tubing on. And of course, the obvious thing is, don't forget, it's this tubing. You don't need to buy any different stuff. It's just a bit of this. So whatever size you decide to shoot, you should be able to use that kind of tubing to make your fixing points. As I say, might be worth watching the video just for that. Anyway, so we got that. Now what you probably want to know is, one, is there at least some shooting videos, footage? Yes, there is. It's at the end. It ain't much, because it's just me shooting, and it's showing some cans being knocked around. So does it shoot all right? I hear all the time about bands are better than tubes, and maybe they are, but And I always shoot at the ends of cans. Don't shoot at the side. There you go. Look, you can see. Never shoot at the side. Yeah, can cutting, it's all very well. But a can's a big thing. And what do they say in that sniper movie? Was it aim small, miss small? I always shoot at the ends of a can. Right, okay, here we go. Right. This one or this one? I think this one was just setting up. Now, if you can see it, look at that. There. So there was a bit of float round the edge. But essentially, I mean, it even cut this weird square shape because it was hitting so much in the same place. It kind of bent the edge and made this a really square bend. But you see, and I always shoot about 20 shots at a time. So that is about 20 shots. That 20 shots. There's a bit of, you know, this would be a floater. What it means is the rest are just there. And this is what I did yesterday. Right, where's it gone? Oh, there we go. That was yesterday. That was yesterday. Look at that. Now, one of the BBs went in so fast and so cleanly. Obviously, once it had kind of cut this slot, I stopped what I was doing. I stopped, held the bow, and I stood there. It must have been spinning round inside this can for 20 seconds. No bullshit, no lie, no exaggeration. I was thinking about it yesterday. How long did it spin for? It must have been 20 seconds it was whizzing around in there. 20 shots. And if you say bands are better than tubes, now just think, if you could build something like this, and you could make bands work, Jesus, how well would that shoot then? That's all I'm saying. I'm not making any kind of argument. Wow. You know, wow. If you can make it work with bands and you think bands are better, wow. How good could that shoot? So there we go. Okay. I should have forgotten something. Yeah, fuck it. Another little thing, just a little thing, just tacking it in there. Because this is not like a setup of a bow. Now I know it looks a bit, oh, it's a bit simplistic. Oh, it's some pulleys on a dowel. I can't help that. It just works really well. And if you've seen some of the shooting it did with the cans, you can see it does a good job. The point about this is, or one of the good points about this, the length of this not being set up like a bow, is when you draw back a bow, the frame moves. You can only kind of mount stuff here. In this case, as I'm possibly going to do, is I can mount a scope on this. I can mount a scope, I can mount a laser, I can mount anything, because the draw is only in the middle. Everything else, all of this, is free space. Now on this little one, what I did, I made a little custom, because it's kind of an ergonomic, fantasy looking hand grip when you kind of look at it. I made a kind of ergonomic, fantasy looking magnet to put some ammo. Holds about eight shots, and you just pick, pull, shoot. Does a great job. You've got all that space you can mount stuff onto. There is some little bit of footage of shooting, showing you the cans. If you don't think that's halfway decent, I don't know what to say. I like it. I just thought I'd make the video because I thought somebody else might find it interesting. All I would say about this and this and this. I've kind of shot slingshots all my life. Bits and pieces, shotguns, shot slingshots, bows, stuff, guy stuff. Not being sexist, you know what I mean. Stuff, all the time. You could have looked on eBay. I have just sold all of my slingshots apart from this one, which is made of Instamorph. Simply, I only kept it really because one, I made it, it's custom made, but I can actually melt it down and turn it into something else if I want to. I've actually just sold all of my slingshots, all of them. For some reason, I shoot, and after a while, I become inconsistent, and it pisses me off. This and this, as you can see, or if you see, depending on how I do the footage, when you see the footage of the way I'm able to shoot with this, these are the tools that I found I can shoot with the best. After 58 years, this is the best tool. And so I've sold all my slingshots. You could have bought them. I don't need them. There'll be people who make their own slingshots, and they look lovely. They do. I can't help what this looks like. I can't help that this is the thing that lets me shoot the best I ever have. It's the most comfortable thing I've ever shot. It's the most accurate thing I've ever shot. And that's just with a band. This one is with a band running through pulleys. The system works. The mechanics work. The way it opens the pouch works. The consistency works. The sights are good. And I know it looks a bit weird and simple. It just does. What can you say? It's like a VW Beetle. It looks like it looks. What can you do? It's a great car. It's a great bow. Make one yourself. That was The Innovator. Check out my shorts and videos. Thanks for watching, however far you got through this video.